Hello everyone. I have brought a new story today. Now this one is called Balderdash the Brilliant. Now this is not just one story. There are actually 3 parts to the story and I'm going to split it up. So make sure you see all of them. They're all fun. Right? So let's begin. Okay. So we are at the second part of Balderdash the Brilliant. Let's go and find out what was going to go wrong. Interesting. A royal mix-up. After the celebration, everyone returned to their colorful homes. At the castle, however, things were not so rosy. "It's still grey," said the Queen, "but luckily there's someone here who can fix that." "Goody," said the Wizard. "Then Sage and I will be going." "I think she means you, Grandfather," said Sage. "You have to cast a spell that will color the castle." "Oh, all right," grumbled Balderdash. "Razzle-dazzle-do," he cried hopefully. 2 startled pigeons darted from the wizard's pockets and landed on the king's crown, but the castle did not change color. "No good, huh?" said Balderdash. "Well then, perhaps this will do. Ring-a-ding-ding-dong," he urged, waving his arms wildly above his head. 3 rabbits jumped from his floppy sleeves. The castle stayed grey. "Okay, take this," cried Balderdash, and he hollered out, "Tap, tappity, bam, bam!" "Bam, bam?" echoed the door. Someone was knocking. "Why, it's a delivery from the Quizzical Wizard Supply Company," exclaimed Balderdash. "I wonder what I ordered this time." "Paint!" cried the wizard in surprise. Of course. That's just what we need to color the castle. But where should we begin?" "How about in the Great Hall?" the king suggested. "It would look yummy if we painted it the color of this orange." "Delicious," said the queen. "But we have only yellow and red and blue paint." Mused Sage. "Perhaps if we could make some orange paint ourselves." Perhaps we could. And they did. Just then they all heard 2 gushing, gurgling waterfalls behind them. The delivery man had spilled the red and yellow paint. "Oh no!" groaned the grown-ups. "Oh yes!" cheered Sage. "Look! The red and yellow are running together to make orange." She dipped her finger in the new color and held it up for all to see. "My dear Sage," beamed Balderdash, "you are absolutely right." As the royal painter set out coloring the Great Wall orange, the king pointed to his emerald ring. "Wouldn't it be fabulous," he asked the queen, "if we could turn the royal game room the color of this jewel?" "Sounds lovely," replied the queen, "but no green paint was delivered." "Which colors can we mix to get some? Do you know that? Huh?" "Well," said Balderdash. Let's see if they know it. If yellow mixed with red made orange, then maybe yellow mixed with blue will make green." The royal painters swung into action. They poured 2 big cans of yellow and blue paint into a huge vat. To everyone's delight, the liquid turned green, exactly the color of the king's emerald ring. The painters used the new hue to turn the royal game room gorgeously green. "I know, gorgeous." "Balderdash, you're brilliant," cried the king. Why, I bet you could create a color for the throne room that matches my robe. What a royal purple that would be, said the queen. As Sage pondered the king's challenge, she recalled how they had made the other two colors. We got orange by mixing red and yellow, and we got green by mixing yellow and blue. What two colors haven't we mixed yet? That's right. So then, perhaps a spell would tell us, muttered Balderdash, leafing through the book of magic. Let's see. What should I look under? R for royal or P for purple? Meanwhile, two painters had attached hoses to the cans and were spraying out jets of blue and red. As the colors flowed together, they produced a beautiful puddle of purple paint. Your Majesty, behold, Sage called to the king. We now have purple galore. It's a color fit for a king and a queen. Upon hearing this, the painters colored the statues of the king and queen. Sure enough, the purple paint fit the royal couple perfectly. As the queen looked on, she declared, "It's busy as a beehive in here. But that reminds me, do you think we could make a lovely brown, the color of my hair?" The royal painters rushed there and here and there, blending this color and that, red with yellow, yellow with blue, blue with red. But no two colors would mix together to make brown. Balderdash refused to give up. Finally, finding a spell for brown in his book, he shrieked, "Eureka!" All over the grand study, startled painters fell off their ladders, dropped their brushes, and knocked over their buckets of paint. Paint was everywhere. Cascades of red, yellow, and blue paint swirled together, forming a lovely brown that was precisely the color of the queen's hair. "Maestro, you have done it again!" the queen congratulated the astonished Balderdash. "Perfect!" cried Sage. "Now we have seen 7 different colors. I wonder how they would look on the outside of the castle." Taking Sage at her word, the royal painters splished and splashed the 7 bright colors all over the castle walls. They rolled red and they brushed blue, they spattered yellow and they speckled orange. They flecked and freckled the walls with green, purple, and brown paint until the once grey castle of grey was a bedazzling 7-hued wonder. "Hip hip hooray for Balderdash!" everyone cried. A satisfied look spread across the old gentleman's face. "It's all in a day's wizardry," said Balderdash modestly. "The castle is magnificent," agreed the king. "But why stop there? I wonder how many other colors we could make." Isn't that a wonder? "A splendiferous idea," cried the queen. You don't hear that word often. Splendiferous. "We'll throw a color mixing festival." Wow, that sounds good, doesn't it? Color mixing festival. Wow. The color mixing festival was held that very day. Citizens from all over Grey grabbed brushes and canvases and pots of paint and began mixing new colors. The fire chief streaked orange through red and made a fiery vermilion. The royal messenger mixed orange and yellow and proclaimed, "Marigold, I'll paint a field of flowers." The chef whipped up chartreuse by blending green and yellow. "Violet," cried the town crier when he combined blue and purple. He trumpeted his discovery all over Grey. The shoemaker smeared green and blue together. "Aquamarine," he exclaimed. "What beautiful boots I will cobble." "I agree." The royal mathematician added purple to red and made magenta. The royal artist mixed a dollop of white into each of his paints, inventing soft pastel colors, pink and peach, he cried, chiffon yellow and sea green, sky blue, lilac and tan. Just imagine all the paintings I can produce. Next, the artist added a smidgen of black to each color, creating deep and dusky shades. Maroon and burnt orange, he chuckled, goldenrod and forest green. I have even made midnight blue, plum and mahogany. And look, black mixed with white makes grey. Is there no end to the colors we can make? Yeah, I feel like going coloring. There better be, sputtered the wizard. These newfangled colors have got my head spinning round and round. Round and round, repeated Sage. Grandfather, that's a wonderful way to remember all the colors. We'll put them in a color wheel. Isn't she the smartest? Look at that. When the color wheel was constructed, the king and queen placed the wizard's crystal in the center. The band, dressed in bright new uniforms, struck up a colorful tune. The trumpets blared red-hot jazz, while the bass thumped cool blues. Everyone danced and cheered, hooray for color. Well, said Balderdash, this must be my cue to say, and they all lived happily ever after. It just goes to show how difficult it is to see into the future, even when you're a wizard. Sounds like there's more to the story, but I'm going to say bye now, and that one will be for another day. You must come back and listen to that one, okay? So, bye.